What's going on, family? It's your boy WiseDuality. The spark that sets the world on fire, aka JoBar, Eliezer, Qandu. God adds to the one who encourages. And I can do anything because my Father is with me. Well, you know, I always say I have an agenda, and I even wrote down some points to stay organized. Check that out. But I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things real quick. Like, I was having a conversation with my brother last night, and me and my brother are like two peas in a pod. Even though we're so far apart, we're still so much the same. And we have a lot of the same ideals and ideas, and some of them are different, right? Especially when it comes to, well, not especially, but on our journey, because we're in two different places along our journey. And he's a reverend, he's a pastor ordained by God and by seminary, through school and education. But I believe he was called by God and anointed by God. Because I know my bloodline, I know our gifts, I just know how powerful our bloodline is. I know the calling that's on it, and the different gifts that we have. And we were having a discussion, and we were talking about our different channels, and how our channels were growing, and then they were the views started going down. Like when he had reached one that was like almost 8,000-9,000, and then his views started going backwards. And that's like the highest with me. Like I think the highest one of mine was probably 5,000, and then it started going backwards. So because we're not promoting the negativity, and we're not talking about the things that are being discussed that make people popular and get the views and the clicks and all of these things. We've always been on a mission to save souls, more him than I. He was on that mission before I was. Or, according to him, you could say I was the one that was more godly from a younger age, though. I always sought him when I was younger. I believed in him. I prayed, and I had my brother praying, and I remember when we was young and we had the children's Bible. And I used to read that children's Bible, and I had faith and expectation in God, and when I wanted things to happen, I would run to God. I would run to the Bible, and that was in my younger years before I became a teen. And then when I became a teen, whoa, my mind was in another place. Doing what a teen does. And throughout my, early 20s and 30s, just, money, success, the choices we make. So the evil that men do. And I was a wicked man. I'm not going to say that I wasn't. I was definitely a wicked man. But I changed my ways. There were certain lines that I would not cross, and there were some that I would. I definitely a big risk taker. You know what I'm saying? If you dare me or double dare me, you better. More than likely, I was going to accept that challenge. And I just always had that mentality that there was nothing that I could not do. Straight up. And I had this drive to succeed according to the world's definition of what success is, and I think I still should have been a lawyer. I think I should have probably should have went into law, because law to eventually get into politics, because that's where my mind is right now, on politics, like the corruption in the politics, again, really destroying our enemy, our true enemy. You know what I'm saying? our true enemy, which is the Antichrist, but he's working through our government and these world powers. And that was part of the fire that was in me after, God allowed me to fall down and to seek him and run to him. That's when I really, really, turned my life over to Yahweh, to my creator, to the spiritual man being inside of me. And we were talking about Christ, and we were talking about the different teachings, and the teaching was, if Christ saying, if you ask for it in my name, it shall be given to him. And then I pointed, we weren't in our Bibles. This just came to me, and I remembered the verse, the scripture where it says that that you wouldn't. I'm paraphrasing this. That you don't have to come to me to do this, that you can go to God directly and petition for yourselves. And he was like, no, he's like, that doesn't say that. And I'm like, yes, it does. And he was like, where? And I was like, it's in John. And the remembrance came to me. It was like John. And then I was like 17, but I was, it was either between 16 and 17. I knew it was there. So, I read through 17. I was like, okay, it has to be 16. So I went back, and sure enough, it's in 16. It's verse 26, between 26 and 28. And if you want to see what Jesus said before that, how he said, you ask for it in my name, it starts at 25. So, he said, he was like, he was, he still was, on his, on standing on, what he understands. And, so we were talking about that, and then, and I was talking about how people get such in an uproar when I be like, I am God, or, God is in you, or I am God. And he was, he gave me some clarity. I listened to him on the other things. I fought with him on some things that we were discussing. We discussed several things. And, but when he was saying, what he said to me that really stopped me in my tracks and made me shut up and listen and heed the correction and the purpose of the call, because it just came out of nowhere, and neither one of us knew we were going to be discussing these things, and there was so many things that are relevant to what is happening right now in my life, and things that I have been meditating on, pondering, and being revealed to me through, this time that I've been able to have to myself. And if God gives you time to yourself, what are you going to do with that time? Do something good with it. Find yourself, seek yourself. We suppress and depress different thoughts within ourselves that we want to forget and neglect or move past. And sometimes he sits us down so that we can address those issues, to fully let them go, to fully feel through them and let them go. So now you can move into a better place. And, he has done that for me in the past 2 months. Really, I've been able to create some beautiful music, really, like, just from joy and peace, and just from the mere love of it, my passion for it and my love of it. And I've been making music on a whole completely different level. And even playing stuff, that I'm not trained. I'm not trained at all. I've trained myself through the years. I've learned from pieces from different people that was willing to share things with me in a good way or in a positive way, to show off or to, to tell me tell me where I'm lacking. But instead of me, taking those things and being beat down from them. You know what I did? I implemented them. It gave me, it was information to help me along the way. So, and I said it before, BandLab is, if you want to get into music and you want to start finding yourself, finding your sound, get feedback, and interact with other people, BandLab is a great place to start. A great app to have. There's so many features, and it's all free. It's all free. That's how you know they're not an American company, right? They're out of the UK. And so is Music Maker Jam. And Music Maker Jam is another one that's on your phone that it's free. They have paid for features that you can unlock to really elevate your sound with the chord progressions and, effects and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's free. And but you have to buy the packs, the sounds to create. But the app is free, and the lessons that you learn are free. How about that? So we were talking about that, and he humbled me when he was like how Jesus never proclaimed that he was God. Although he said, I am, and he said, I am he, but he never said, I am God. He never boasted on being God. And none of the other prophets or, workers called people ever spoke that. They never spoke those words. Like Elijah, he never spoke that. And Elijah was powerful. Elisha, powerful. He never spoke those words. So it really humbled me and brought me, to understanding. But it's an identity thing with me, what I'm saying, to step into that identity. And it's a phase. It's not a phase, but it's not a phase, but it's a level that you reach, what I'm saying? And then you go beyond that. Just like being saved, you have to accept Christ. That's one part of it. You have to repent. You have to get baptized. You have to accept Christ. Yeshua. But it doesn't stop there. You have to walk in it. And then you have to evolve as you keep going. You learn more. You adapt. Righteous principles, holiness, Christ's ways, consciousness, awareness of who you are. And when you are chosen, you have a purpose and you have work to do. Ultimately, and this is for me and where I'm at right now, I'm still in the phase of knowing who I am fully. I know my identity. I know exactly who I am. I know that God is in me. I know that I am created in his image. I know the powers and gifts that I have. I know the responsibilities that I've been running from all of my life. So to me, to get to this point where I'm at now is the fire, the passion, the strength. You know what I'm saying? Strength. It's just strength. And it's passion. And it's not anger. It's not anger. But it's passion. It's fueled through pain, through anger, that feeds my passion. But my delivery is so just like me. Rough, raw, rough and rugged. Rough, rugged, and raw. That's what I always say. Rough, raw, and rugged. That's me. Or rough, rugged, and raw. That's who I am. It's a personality of mine. To be But to deliver this message, I have to learn to be more gentle. And in my gentleness, that's when, I was taken advantage of. I was used and abused and mistreated and misused and overlooked and envied all at the same time. And being a people pleaser, which I no longer am, I learned to say no. I learned to set boundaries. And on this journey of personal growth, that's why I stand the way I stand now. So I took a stand. And that stand is to be powerful, to be strong, to be confident, to be bold, to be courageous, to speak with authority. Right? And truth. Because the truth is the authority. Right? That is the power. The truth. It's not me. It's God in me. Is what he's given me. Is the words that I speak, that he speaks through me. Right? So we were having this discussion. And I never say that I do the things. I always give the glory to God. But what he was saying is when you're doing that, that it brings a lot of confusion into people, and it makes them think a certain way about what I'm saying, to put myself on a level as God, which I'm not doing. I'm just stating a truth. You know what I'm saying? If God is the source and he puts it in you, and that source is in you, are you not? We are a carrier of it. Like he was saying, we're a carrier of that light. We are, vessels. But until my rebuttal is, but we are more than that. We are more than flesh. We are more than vessels. We are more than carriers. We are that spirit. So we came to a consensus. I got what I needed to get out of it. And I'm sure I enlightened him on some things, even though he won't admit it. My brother is stubborn. My brother is stubborn. For real. He tormented me when I was younger. I'm telling you, he tormented me. Maybe one day I'll have him on and we'll have a discussion. He's doing a lot of things and he's doing it more professional than I am. I'm just using my phone. He got the mics and the cameras and the space and all of these things, a whole production. And, we were talking about bringing, coming together and doing some things, some mighty things, some beautiful things, yeah, so today I wanted to share why I named the channel Let's Get Naked Yahweh. And it seems to be so offensive to a lot of people, or off-taking, or, shocking, but that's the effect that I wanted. That's, like I said, that's me. I know what my purpose is. Me and him we're doing the same thing, but we have two different styles. And I want to be disruptive. I want to be intrusive. You know what I'm saying? I want to. That is my purpose. To be disruptive, to be intrusive to the system that we're living in. All right? And, how can you proclaim to be the spark that sets the world on fire? You know what I'm saying? How? If you don't understand what that means, the fire that you must light, the spark that lights a fire under the people to move, to disrupt, to destroy our true enemy. I remember one video I had about taking back the land, and they said, bro is inciting violence in a 10-second video. And I say, yes, I am. I am inciting violence. Not against innocent people, not against white people, but against our true enemy. Greed. Power. These people who are in power are greedy. How do we vote for people to go in to do the things that we need to do for us, but they're making more money than us? Why? Why are they making these millions of dollars and getting all of these benefits when the people that are voting for them are starving? And the people can't see past race and these little problems that we have and their own desires of possessions and their comforts, that there's no change. And we see how the world is getting out of control, right? You see, everybody sees what that fake Israel, those fake Jews are doing. Those are not the real Jews. Everybody knows that, right? Those are not the real Jews. Those are European converted Jews, right? Black people in Europe showed them the way, right? Powers that be, fighting Germany, Russia, United States, France, all these European countries, right? The UN is a coalition of the same people that was fighting these wars, the same people with the same ideas of world domination and destruction of the human race. And if you don't believe that they have a mentality, there is an agenda to wipe out the human race, you better wake up. The food is poisoned. The air is poisoned. The water is poisoned. Let me pose this question to you. And I posed this question to my cousin yesterday. What would the world look like if money wasn't a factor? Do you think the majority of people would spend their time connecting with the Creator? Do you think the world would be more peaceful, more united, if money was out of the equation? What would the world look like? So when I say let's get naked, I'm saying to get down to the root of whatever it is. To bare yourself, to be vulnerable, to heal yourself. You will never heal yourself if you're not willing to be vulnerable. You'll never heal yourself if you're not willing to be healed. You're not going to heal yourself if you're not willing to give up the things that make you sick. You're never going to be free if you're scared to die. Dying for what's right. Dying to fight against evil. Evil. And the acts of this country that calls themselves Israel are evil. They are. Those are not God's chosen people. You have to believe that. Why do they hate black people so much? Why do they call black people niggers? If the chosen people are Africans, because all of creation starts in Africa, Jerusalem is in Africa, Israel was called out of Canaan, an African nation at the time. I believe, what is Canaan, is part of Ethiopia now, like somewhere around there. Ethiopia is Africa. So these are black people. Right? There's a whole agenda to keep the chosen people, black people, sleep, unawares of their true identity. It pisses me off when people want to recognize and say Egypt, and Kemet, when Egypt wasn't the first civilization. They got their language and their ideals from the the civilization before them? Who created Sanskrit? Sanskrit is a language before hieroglyphics, right? So there's so much misinformation out there. And the only way to truly understand these things is to go within, to reconnect so that you can have this knowledge, this vast, unlimited amount of knowledge. Knowledge. You ever have answers to questions or dilemmas that you never faced before, that you never heard, but you knew the answer? You knew the way? Why? And you're not even the only one. Everything that everybody thinks, feels, can create or come up with, we all share that. Many of us had the same ideas as other people, right? Because there's one source. We're one people. Divided, blinded by what? Our enemies' devices, our enemies, the world, and its things. So that's what Let's Get Naked means. It was about being bearing your soul, to be healed, to be free, and to connect with another person. It was about marriage. I always thought that my calling was in marriage ministry. But I guess in some way it still is, but maybe not marriage, but to reconnect in the union of man and woman, to get back there, to get back to that place. And I talk about the divine order all the time. It's God, man, and woman. That's the divine order. And I don't know if y'all checked out my quote when I spoke about the divine order and why the king stands behind the queen, or the man behind the woman, because the man protects the back of the woman. The woman can't protect the man from the back. Only God can. So God stands behind the man stands behind the woman. He watches her back. He defends her from temptation. And she prays for him in the front to protect his back. Because if he has to turn around, guess what? Now his back is to the enemy. So neither one of them protected now. Right? If he's destroyed, she's left alone by herself. So that is the divine order. So women, men, especially men, that saying, behind every great man is a great woman, is a lie. Because a great woman stands either in front of her man, praying for him, praying with him, so that she can stand beside him. He protects her from behind. He's her response. She's his responsibility when they become one. What was another point that I had? Something else I wanted to speak on. I talked about my initial purpose. Talked about Let's Get Naked. My purpose now. And I kind of hit on that a little bit, and I think I went off on a tangent. With my fire, my fire is I'm supposed to use my fire to destroy my enemy. And I think I'm doing that. I'm speaking out. I mean, I don't know if you guys really follow me, like really follow me, because it's the same name on every platform, WiseDuality, right? Every platform is the same name, it's the same symbol. You see this symbol, you know it's me. You see that name, you know it's me. Nobody has this name but me. I chose that name because I didn't see it anywhere else. Right? I had other names, but I knew that name was perfect for me. What I've come to understand and realize, we are dual beings. We are man and spirit. We are good and evil. And we have choice. Duality. Everything evens out. We are light and dark. But my fire is here to destroy my enemy. And and I'm glad, because yesterday I was texting with a lady on BandLab, a beautiful woman who's awakening. You know, she's awakening, and she has been awakening for a while, and I can tell she has some very good gifts in her, and her purpose and her spirit, and she was talking about destroying her enemy. And as the first time that I ever heard anyone besides myself talking about destroying our enemy, everybody is saying this peace, this peace, this peace, this peace. But guess what? How many times did God ask his people to come together to destroy their enemy? So that's my message. It's time to destroy our enemy, our true enemy. And we see it. These governments, these people in power, if they are not for the people, it's time to get rid of them. We need a whole new outlook on life. And those people that are in power, the systems that are in place, are not about life. They're not. They're not about life. They're all about destruction. They spend more money on building things to destroy than to give life and to heal, to bring about stability instead of anxiety and depression and fear. It's a whole new rhetoric that needs to be in place. A whole new agenda. Right? And we damn sure need to stand up and fight against that homo agenda that they're trying to implement around the world. And I'm glad that the people in Africa are saying, don't bring that crap here. Those are the people that are fighting. Those are the real children of God. That's why they want to fight. That's why they're fighting against their enemies, right? That's why they're like, no, we had enough of y'all evil ways. We try to trade with you guys. We try to let bygones be bygones and let people live and be in unity with you guys. But all you want to do is destroy. For what? Money. For money. And a false sense of power. Look at the American mentality of the women today. Because of the divine order has been destroyed, there's no more any family structure. Men are not allowed to discipline women or children. And now we got what? Women saying they don't need men. You know what that sounds like to me? Men saying like they don't need women. It sounds like the end of humanity. That's what it sounds like to me. Because if you don't rain, if rain doesn't come to the earth, what are you going to eat? If seed is not planted in the earth, how do we breathe? And that's the same analogy as man and woman. If man and women are not together, there is no life. And everybody's concerned about this AI and robots and intrigued by it. And I used to be in IT. I did it for more than almost 20 years. In information technology. I was there in its infancy growing up. Right? At the end of Windows 3.1. The beginning of Windows 95 and so on all the way up to 2010. So I started in 95 to 2010. All right? Working in the belly of it. You know, I was a systems operator. So I was in control of monitoring and keeping the equipment running properly so that these millions and millions of dollars, these transactions flow. Hardware and software. The code has gotten so good, you don't need operators like that anymore. It can be remotely done. Everything is remote. They phased us out. We thought it was good. Because at one point, hey, I remember when I didn't have to go into an office. I had to go for a little bit, maybe an hour or two. Then the rest of the time I spent doing whatever I wanted. Getting paid big money. If my two-way pager went off, then it was double. Double. If I had to answer a call on my pager, especially outside of my work hours, fat. Right? So, anyway, this technology is another thing. What are they trying to do? Phase out humans, right? Phase us out. The greedy are trying to phase us out. And while they're trying to find ways to live forever. Right? What is the metaverse about? What is AI about? All of these things to try to switch our consciousness into things that live forever. Robots, machines, you know? Yeah. This is what's going on. People are distracted by so many of these stupid little things that are going on with celebrities, but not really paying attention to what's happening in the world as a whole against humanity. Because everybody's separated by race and color. I was online playing poker, right? And I was kicking butt. And the guy invited me, sent me an invite to join the tournament. So I was playing with my home. I was like, all right, I'll jump in the tournament. I never did it before. I wanted to do it. And me and my homie went over. I'm in the party. You know, we played a couple tournaments. You know what I'm saying? And when he got off, we started talking about something. I don't even remember what we started talking about. And we got on to Jesus and all of these things. And I said that, I am God. And he's like, and, Jesus came from out of Africa, right? And it doesn't even matter what race he is, you know what I'm saying? And they just started going off when I said that, right? They started calling me all kinds of names, the niggers and all this, and you're come from slaves, and how could you ever think that you're royal if you come from slaves, and I'm trying to tell them that all life came from Adam. I'm trying to give them all of these truths, never, not once, being ignorant towards them, but letting them know, but speaking truth, how the Europeans are cursed black people, the lepers that were cast out, that migrated into different parts of the world. Those are the white people that we see today. They are black, right? They are the absence of our melanin because they got cursed because of their disobedience to God, who are the same people that he said will punish us, who are over us now, right? No matter what country you're in, right? So they live it. Just live it. So I said, I'm trying to tell you some spiritual things and all this. And then he going off and he just kept making it about race. And I'm like, man, it's not about race because we the same people. It's not about race. And your own people are doing you dirty because they were in the UK, in Newcastle, UK or whatever, all those, all the, those fight clubs they have over there because of the soccer, and just, they hate each other. And these are all white people that look like white people. They are white people that, they are white, the majority of them, but they hate each other. They fight and destroy each other and all of these things, right? And that's their natural mentality. That's their natural being because they're cursed, right? They are the poison, the parasite of the world, right? And I'm not saying that they are not good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they are black people. They are us. So it doesn't matter what they have adopted as their lifestyle, their mentality that they have spread across the world is destruction. And I'm not saying all white people are bad. I'm not saying that at all. They are my brothers and sisters. They are. But the powers that be that are destroying this country are of Caucasian descent, right? That's who they are. That's true. The Germans, the Russians, the UKs, the Americans. The Americans came from where? Europe. You know what I'm saying? The white people in America came from Europe. There were black people here. My ancestors come from here. I don't believe I come from Africa. My people come from this country right here, the United States. I can trace my roots into the Catawba tribe out of the North Carolinas, the South Carolina, North Carolina area. That's where my people come from. Well, some of us. But either way, on either side, I still have the native indigenous people to this country on both sides of my family, from both bloodlines. Okay? Among other races. Now, but it caused an uproar. And I got off. And then one of the guys who was a Pakistani guy, and I'm trying to tell him, like, how do you not know you are black? And the Pakistani dude said he not black. Blew my mind. I'm like, Pakistan is in Africa. It's an African country. No, we're our own country. I'm talking about the continent is Africa. You're talking about a country. You're in a country on a continent of Africa. And he's still saying he ain't black. Boom. Why is it such an agenda to degrade black people? Black men in particular. Because we got our own black women that have turned against us, that are backstabbing us. Because we took the blunt of the abuse and still taking it today. so that they can do the things that they do, so that they could be educated, so that they could have their houses, so that they could have security, so that they could thrive. And they turn their back on us because we don't make as much money as they do, so you're not worthy of them. And that's any woman. If a woman is saying you're not worthy of her because of how much money you make. Wow. 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 Especially a black woman. Money, false freedom, control over love, unity, legacy, purpose. How do we not band together? Not as black people, but as an entire nation, as a world. Because we're all human. We all have the same necessities, the same problems and issues. And we're all being violated by people that want to be in control, that have power, for money. We're just cattle to them. How do we have billions of dollars to send to fund wars, but people in this country are still starving? People in this country don't have a place to live or worried about their next bill. People that work 50, 60 hours have no peace. They have no peace because they're worried that they have to maintain whatever it is they're doing to keep this lifestyle. So our minds are not even on what they should be. We can't reconnect. We can't connect because we're worried. We're stressed. We're oppressed. And if one is oppressed, we're all oppressed. So all people are oppressed. It doesn't matter what country you're in. And it's time to get rid of the oppressors. Okay? Get rid of the oppressors. How? Get your spirit right and prepare to fight. Get your spirit right and prepare to fight. That's how. You're going to die. So why not die changing the world, making the world a better place? Right? Speak out against it. You don't want to fight? Speak out. Use your voice. You don't want to use your voice? Use your prayers. But it doesn't matter if you're not in alignment, if you're not reconnected to the source, if you don't believe there is a God. How can you pray against the evil and atrocities and then blame him for it when you do nothing? When it's just another man that is creating these problems. It is another man that is doing these things. Why would God let this happen? Why are you letting the people in power do it? If you are a child of God. If you are his child, why are you letting it be done? Why are you letting Satan's son kill, steal, and destroy? If you say you are the child of God, but all you want to do is go to church and praise and say, hey, hallelujah, hallelujah, but you ain't doing nothing. Jesus was a movement against the oppressors. So please, all you people that want to keep screaming Jesus, then let me see you do what Jesus did. Let me see you do what he did. He fought. Not physically. He spoke out. He fought in the spirit world. He fought against lies, evil with truth. He woke people up. So, there's more than one way to win this battle, is what I'm trying to say. There's more than one way to participate. Some of us are going to have to die if we really want to see change. But you're not. You're not willing to. You got to keep your car in your house and your TV. You know, that's what's more concerning you. Your degree. You know, your career that leads to what? What? By the time you're 60, you're going to be like, damn, I spent all my time doing that and I didn't live. Who did you really help? And did you really help yourself? Did you even learn who you truly are? On your chase for money, the paper chase, on your chase for status and control and power, and this sense of false freedom. I also discovered some things about myself concerning money. And the spirit within me hates it. It really does. I mean, I have no desire to chase money. None. But it's essential to live. So my conflict keeps me from attracting the money that I could have if I really wanted it. These are some things that I have been discovering about myself. Now, I do want it for, not even for myself. I want it for other people. I've always had this idea of, you feed them. You feed them. When I came home, released from prison, and I moved to North Carolina, and when I moved out of my home and went on my own, because things weren't working there, in two different directions, and I moved into the hood from where I was staying at, completely different. Two different places. So I'm telling you, two completely different environments, two different neighborhoods. But it's okay, right? And I would see the people around me, the poverty. And the only thing that came to my mind was, you feed them. You. And I've never been able to reach that place to be able to make the moves and to make it a reality where people can come and go to eat and sleep and shower and just sit down and relax and watch some TV without somebody trying to change who they are, to get into the workforce, to reestablish you to the establishment, but to just be at peace with the decisions that you chose. Everybody that's homeless, some people have completely turned their back on the world. And I myself have contemplated these things myself. To just give it all up. Because it's useless. But I know I love music. I love making music. I want to make hit records. I want to be a well-known producer, a legend in creating music, beautiful music, music that heals and inspires, music that will make you cry to purify you, music that will help you vibrate higher, connect with your creator, to find peace within yourself, that make you dance and move and not think about the worries and pressures of the world, but that will just have your body responding, you know? That's what I want. And I'm kind of on the brink of that with the different sounds that I've been playing with. And I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying these sounds. It's still work. After I create a piece, then it has to be arranged. If I'm using loops. And if I'm creating something that's original from within me, I have to be open. I have to be in a place where I'm open to let it out. So, open up your hearts and minds, people. Reconnect with your creator. Reconnect with your creator. And there will be growth and transformation. And it won't look like what you think it's going to look like. All hell will break loose around you. Everything that you know will start to fall away. That is not of God. That is not for you. And many people say this in their testimonies, and it scares a lot of people because I remember I said this to this one guy I was working with when I was doing delivery, and he was searching for God, and he wanted to believe that there is a God. And I said, go somewhere by yourself and ask God to reveal himself to you. And if he doesn't reveal himself to you, then he will eventually, in your daily goings, you will start to see things fall apart. You'll start to see life will probably get difficult for you. And he said, well, why? Why would I want to find God if my life is going to be difficult? And I remember reading this text, and it's on my word of the day, that these instances that we go through, these circumstances, the pain, the hurt, the betrayals, the lies, the delusions, it's also that we can learn the difference between the best and everything else. And that blew my mind. Because that's a lesson that it taught me. It taught me that everything that I had was not the best thing for me. The people that were around me were not the best for me. They weren't. Because if they were, they would still be here today. Lessons learned. Seasons, right? Come and go. to teach us the things that we need to know, to help us along our path, our journey, right? And through growth, I've learned to let go. I've accepted that I had abandonment issues and attachment issues, codependencies on people. And when I loved hard. I loved so hard and so deep. And to me, it was forever. But I had to learn to let go. That's part of love. It's even scriptural. It's even scriptural to let go. And that's the highest form of love. It's the highest form of love. To let them go. And that has been growth and transformation in me. Strength. I believe maybe a couple weeks ago, it was around Thanksgiving when I put out the song called Lonely, and it was its original piece. I played the notes on that, right? I played the keyboard for a piano and some other instruments to make this melody, right? And it's not perfect. It was just the beginning. It's one of my babies, right? But I wanted to share it because it was so healing for me, because I was listening to it before I put it out. And I was listening to it while I was out, exercising. Well, not really exercising, but just breathing and stretching and, shaking off, just moving, getting my moving, you know what I'm saying? And I was flowing with the music, and I had my eyes closed because that's what I do. When I go into that space, my eyes are usually closed because I'm outside of the world, right? I can release and hear, I can see and hear clear with my eyes closed. Things come up when my eyes are closed. You know what I'm saying? Issues, answers, things that need to be addressed, things I forgot about, things that I want to do, inspiration. So many things just come from being silent, closed off, and just breathing, right? So, this song, it just took me into a space, and I spoke about this on there. How it took me to this place where I was just reliving some things, and I was being reminded of them, and facing truths about me, weaknesses, pains, hurts, and in the moment I was feeling them, and it was breaking me down, and I was crying, and I was feeling so weak and powerless. But then, after I discovered this, and I accepted these things about myself, and what happened, then I was being filled with strength, and power, and confidence. So it was like a transformation once I faced my fears, my weaknesses, me. And then it's just like new life came into me, new strength. And people that see me, it's like, Are you working out? Or, you look different. You look good. My homeboy that we've been homies since 7th grade, over 35 years, and we still play basketball together on 2K, and we've been doing that for the last 7 years. And, I won the first 5 years. Well, I think he won the first one, and then I won the next 5, and he won last year, and we're battling now. And I've been trying to, get him open to do more than just basketball, but and we start playing poker together and Call of Duty, and just getting him to just venture out into the different worlds of fantasy, of just to distract you from time to help ease pressures, to lose yourself, a time and space where you can go in and be focused on something besides your problems. All right? And I had seen him, and he was just like, man, you look good. He's like, because the last time I seen, he's like, it looked like age had got on you. And it seemed like you were a lot bigger, right? But I probably was on maybe like, the difference was maybe 10 pounds, maybe, if that. And my son said the same thing, my sons. And I said it was a change of mentality. It was me breaking free from an old mindset and really taking a stand and making a choice of who I am and who I want to be, who I want to become, and what I'm working towards. And that made the difference. Deciding. And it's amazing that I just said that, because I just seen a post on Instagram today with it was Father Divine, and people may say what they want, but he speaks a lot of truths. Maybe it's all about money and things like that, but the mentality that the principles that he's teaching, the principles, not his mentality, but the principles that he teach are vital or crucial to achieving things in this 3D world, in this physical world, this physical realm. And one of the things that he said that I heard today was, to achieve all the things that you want to achieve in life, you must first decide. You must first make a decision. A clear-cut decision about what it is that you want. And then everything else will begin to align, start to make way for what it is that you have decided to be. That you have made up your mind to see in reality. And you will. There's so many principles that are in the Bible that God's people don't use. But our enemies use it against us. That's why they have so much power. That's why they have so much wealth. That's why they don't want you to know. That's why they want you to have. That's why religion used to be a thing in this country. And I'm not a religious person, but you understand what I'm saying. The things of God. This used to be a God worshiping country to some extent, right? They wanted to be. They had the ideals to be, the desire to be, the intention to be, but that changed, right? So my purpose is always the same. To get you to find you. To reconnect to your creator. And you will find that is you. God in you, right? Because he's in you. The universe and nature are things that he created. And it's nothing wrong in these spiritual realms to explore magic is real. But it can be good or it can be evil. The universe is real. The ways of the universe, these principles, these are all things that God created, but they work. Nature is real. Right? You can't dispute none of these things. It's how you use them. It's your intentions. Right? Intentions are everything. I spoke about this before. Intentions are everything. Your intentions and your motives. You can't hide. Not from our Creator, not from Yahweh, and not even from yourself. Not your true intentions. Purity. Another thing that I've been working on, purity. Purity. To match my pure intentions, I must have a pure body. And there's no secret there, but I say I smoke marijuana, smoke weed, whatever you want to call it. The ganja. I still do. I haven't today. But still. Purity. So I'm just saying these things, like if you choose to walk down this path with your pure intentions, that you must also have a pure body to go along with it. A pure temple. Especially if you're doing service, to other people. And while the people that are looking at you are watching you. There are people that are watching you. They're and some of them are going to look for the one thing that you do that they can kind of contradict your true intentions. So that's a thing that I've been facing, that has been revealed to me, that my smoking must come to an end. To really achieve all that I want to achieve. And it's not because it's a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. God created all things good. Just like wine is not a bad thing. It's your abuse of it. Alcohol is not a bad thing. It's your abuse of it. It has a purpose. But then when it becomes a necessity, your means to live, like you can't live without it, your obsession, your addiction, then that's where the problem is, right? And I don't believe I have a problem or an addiction. Marijuana has never stopped me from doing the things that I need to accomplish in life. It have been a hindrance in the systems of the world, but it has never been a hindrance for me. Not really. No. I mean, it slows you down and makes you a little, chill, laid back. But that's me anyway. But I guess if too much of that, then you never get anything done. But your drive and everything comes from you. It's all you. Your drive. It's you. So It's never been an issue for me. It's always been an issue for everybody else. When it comes to me, like my first wife, she didn't like it. She didn't like it. But it's never been a problem for me. But for me to go to the next level, it must be let go. So I pretty much talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. I guess I'll start doing it like that, so that I can stay, at least have a guideline, a baseline, and a direction, right? I talked about everything: growth and transformation, destiny, destiny and purpose, same thing. Destroying our enemy, yes. I shared so many things with you guys right now today. Exposing my vulnerabilities, exposing me, my thoughts. These are my thoughts. These are thoughts that I've had for a while. Since my last thought of the day, I had so many things I wanted to talk about, and I just didn't, because I didn't want to get on here and be repeating myself about this disconnect between the woman and the man, because that is a serious thing with me. And it truly is. It's sad that men and women are not connecting. And we're not connecting because of money. We're not connecting because of power and control. We're not connecting because of status and accolades. Egos of, I'm better than you. Wow. It's disgusting. So I guess I'll leave it here. And I'm going to leave you guys with my usual, but also an additional question that I want you to ponder on. And hopefully this will bring some peace and joy and to redirect your life and really help bring you joy. If money wasn't a factor, who would you be? What would you be doing with your time and your energy if money wasn't a factor? Who would you be and what would you be doing? If being a slave to a 9-to-5 wasn't a thing, to live, to eat, to have peace, to have joy, to feel useful or important. If these things that society has set in place were not there, if we could reconstruct it and took money out of the equation, money is not a factor, how would you live your life? Do you think you would think differently? Do you think you would behave differently? What would you be doing with your time? What usefulness could you offer to the world? What gift could you offer to the world? What ideas? And finally, where is the love, especially between the woman and the man? And what are you willing to do to fix it, to reconnect, to establish it, to be love, to give love, to receive love? Most people have a problem receiving love. They don't know how to receive. Another thing me and my brother was talking about was psychology. And psychology has been really, really, really a blessing and a curse to society, right? But I think the powers that be have taken it and is more detrimental than it is good, right? And that's his thing. He has degrees in that. He's about to have his doctorate in psychology and, Christian psychology and ministry and all of these things, right? All these accolades. And he was talking about healing, But the one thing that I told him that he must understand, you can't heal the mind or change the mind until you heal the heart. You have to heal the heart first. People are so concerned about the mind, the mind, the mind, the mind. But what about the heart? What about it? What about the heart? Heal the heart. You have to heal the heart. You want to refocus? You want to do good things? You want to be a better person? You want to change your mind and change your direction? Heal your heart. Heal your heart. This is a beautiful creation of mine. I arranged it. I manipulated these sounds. I placed them. I mixed and mastered the sounds, the levels of volumes, manipulated different pieces of it. So it's mine. I didn't create the sounds, but I rearranged those sounds and made it mine. And maybe just that piece of advice right there will help somebody. So, here it is. And this is called French Kiss, because I am a sensual guy. I am very sensual. Yes, I am. I'm a sensual man. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Very sexy. So, here it is. French Kiss. Makes me want to slow drag. I didn't play that note, but I placed those notes where I wanted them to be. And how loud they will be heard. So that's mine now. Find the love within yourself. bring you joy and peace. And when you have found this love, and you have found yourself, and you attract in love, don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. Love fearlessly. But don't lose yourself. And with that, brothers and sisters, family, I love you. Je t'adore. I love saying je t'adore. Since I learned that back in 7th grade, how to say I love you in French. Je t'adore. I love it. I love you. Seriously. Wake up. Time is running out. Heal before it's too late. Heal so you can enjoy life. I know many of you are tired of being in the rat race, right? You're not accomplishing anything. You're just working to make it to the next paycheck, to the next bill to pay. It's not living. That is not life. That was not why you were created. It wasn't. Wasn't. Your purpose is to reconnect with your Creator by your choice, by your own free will. That is what you are here for, to make a decision, to decide. And who will you choose? When the flesh dies, who will you return to? As young people, we don't ask ourselves that. But as mature people, that's a question you must ask yourself. And it's a choice. It's a decision that needs to be made. There are choices that need to be decided, chosen, a path. And though you may stumble, slip, you may even fall on that path, you're not alone. You're not alone. Get up. Get up. Get up out of your funk and move. 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 Unblock all the blockages by your movement. By your decision. Peace. Shalom.